From wherever in the world you're watching, welcome to this week's Wafflers Wednesday from the Great British Mickey Waffle. I'm Ben, and a few weeks ago we started off a tour of Walt Disney World's classic and closed Disney attractions. So with Magic Kingdom and Epcot ticked off our list, it's now time to head into the wilderness and depths of Animal Kingdom and join the backlot tour that is Disney's Hollywood Studios. Hello, happy Wednesday, everyone.
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday.
How are we all today?
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Feeling very lonely today. Jill's had to go to London for work, so just me and Cookie.
Oh. So is that a good day, Peter?
Well,
I'm not sure whether Jill's even watching tonight. So
Yeah. all round to Peter's for a
All round to
party.
Peter's.
To them.
Party!
Yeah, party night. Yeah. Thing is, though, he hasn't got Jill to keep him in check,
Right.
so we could be in trouble here, guys. So
that's okay. I think I know where the mute button is somewhere. It's somewhere
yeah,
here.
excellent.
no, I think Cookie will keep me in check.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right.
She's looking at me from the sofa now.
Yeah, well trained. She's giving that dig to the ribs that Jill normally gives you.
I love this. Great way to start the show. But I can't believe it was only a few weeks ago that we spoke about Magic Kingdom and Epcot with the classic attractions, and we realised that we couldn't have got around all four parks in, was it an hour and a half, that show?
I'm glad we didn't, though. I'm glad we didn't, because actually I don't think we'd have done it justice. And also, we've got so much to fit into tonight's show.
Oh, yeah.
That I'm thinking, oh my word, we've got to go long again. And it really is. It's one of them ones that I think we just touched upon it last week when we were talking about Animal Kingdom. And we try to avoid talking about all the rides and attractions. And yet we still went long last week. So who knows?
That is true. All I know is this hour or maybe two will be filled with memories, reminiscence, and maybe a break at the right stop for a coffee and a brownie.
Yes, please.
I had to get that in there.
Yeah, what a great
Yeah.
a great salute to the writer stop. I think that's how we start. I think that's
and I think there's definitely a few photos of the writer stop in the drive ready for tonight. So, but yeah. But before we get started, I want to take a moment to thank everyone watching for their support, because we've reached some amazing milestones this past weekend with over 900 subscribers and 100,000 views on YouTube. And over 30,000 plays on our podcast.
935 on YouTube we've got. So, if you haven't if you're out there and you haven't twisted someone's arm recently and said, "Have you found the Great British Mickey Waffle?" Then go and just twist their arm, or if you're at work, then
just log into everyone's computer
computers.
Send them an email. Send this link in an email.
Tell them it's okay.
Yeah.
John said it was okay.
John said it's okay. It's okay to watch at work, whether you're watching at work, whether you're watching at home. It doesn't matter. Also, whether you're on your phone or watching it on TV. But yeah, one of the best.
Or on the catch up.
Or on the catch up.
Oh, I think there are at least two people in the comments at the moment that are working while listening to us. So.
Do you know something? I'm going to let people into a bit of a production secret, because, strangely enough, we do have production meetings for this show. It doesn't appear, I know. However, we were chatting the other night, and actually, that's one of the things that gives me a bigger buzz, is the fact that someone who's watching in the chat is at work, surreptitiously watching us at work.
Ninja watching.
Whilst working, obviously. We know who you are. But yeah, thank you. It is so much appreciated, and actually, it gives me a giggle every week. So, thank you for joining us.
But yeah, and the best way to show your support is to, like we just said, to share your show with friends and family. So just a quick share on social media can make a big difference, especially to the algorithm. So you can also help us by clicking the like button and subscribing to our channel. When we get to 1,000, there will be something we are planning. We're not going to say much on it tonight, but there will be something once we've hit 1,000 subscribers, either that following live show or podcast, there will be something that we will sort out.
We're not saying anything about it because we haven't decided what it is yet.
That's the one.
That's the next production meeting.
But, there'll be something.
If you listen to the show that's out on the 1st of May next week, we did suggest an idea for it.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I remember, I think Peter will be getting involved in that giveaway.
Yeah. I forgot that.
Yeah.
I wasn't on that show.
Peter doesn't remember that either. He's just like, what am I doing? I don't remember that.
What I agree to now?
It's like, did I record a show?
I told you that's what it needs. Jill just needs to go bang. It's this. Don't worry, Peter. You're okay. It's okay. So you watch out if I lean in you off. Here you go. Being Peter's ear from careful.
Oh, wrong way. There you go.
Peter's agreed to all sorts of stuff.
Yeah, talking of the show that's out next week, it is where we go beyond the parks, Disney World's hidden gems and activities.
Oh, wow.
I had to change it because we covered a lot more than our top 10 things to do with that park ticket.
Yeah.
I think the count was at least 30, maybe 40.
That was pretty good. Then.
To listen to this then.
Yeah.
So and it's not a long show. It's only an hour and a quarter. So it's short by our standards.
See, we can do it. We can do it.
We can do a short show if we need to. But I think before we begin tonight, we should also say hello to everyone who's in the chat.
Yay.
Because it keeps scrolling. Every time I keep scrolling up, it's moving back down. So first in tonight, we have Megan, who I think was here before us.
Megan.
Yo, Meg.
You unlocked the doors for us tonight. You were here.
We have Megan with the key. Marla was also joining us as well.
Hello, Marla.
Prepping stuff for dinner but need a break. Perfect timing. We have Kelly.
Yeah.
Kelly.
One
Hey,
of our
Kelly.
workers.
I'm just going to say, Megan, I don't know if Robert's watching with you, but if he is, hello, Robert.
Hi, Robert.
Hi, Rob.
I'm guessing he might be.
All right, mate.
I see Jane.
Hi, Jane.
Jane.
Are we going to include John?
No,
Our very own John.
he's there.
Hey, hello, John.
I was being polite. I was being polite and welcoming people. I was multitasking. While Ben puts me on mute, I find other ways
Find
to
something else
talk.
to do.
You have to keep talking, don't you, John?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's what keeps me going.
After 4 years, I think we've only just learned that.
Yeah, I've realised myself in the past 12 months, it's what keeps me going. It really is.
Hi, Butch.
Hi,
Hey,
Butch.
Butch.
Hiya, Butch. And Dan.
Dan.
Hiya, Dan, mate. Here we go.
I'm not going to give you your full name this week.
They've got Wendy.
Hi, Wendy.
Wendy.
She's all doing our job of telling people to hit the like button.
Yeah, this is
very
it.
much.
Wendy's great. Colton.
Colton is
Colton.
making me hungry.
He's always on
Every
his lunch.
week.
What is it today?
Nice,
Last
yeah.
week, what was it? I can't remember what it was last week. I want to know what you're eating, Colton.
Yeah.
It's something yummy. Is
Terry.
it
Terry.
mushy peas?
Don't start now.
Apparently, we might need to take some over to.
I don't
Florida.
even like mushy peas, so
No.
You know.
Oh, mushy peas.
They've got to be done properly.
Overrated.
Who else is here? Anybody else that we
Miriam.
We
missed?
have Mahima.
Mahima.
Mahima's here.
Hi, Mahima.
And
We've
I'm
said
sure
hello
I
to
saw.
Terry.
We said hello to Terry, but
Terry.
Terry
Yeah.
can have multiple hellos because we're
Yeah.
very glad you're back again, Terry.
And I want to say
Hello
thank you,
again,
Terry, for
Terry.
posting all of the photos from Epcot.
Yes.
That
in
was
the show.
superb.
Yes.
Yeah.
John.
Terry
John
has
is in.
photos and videos from years and years and years ago. She's
Oh,
on her
wow.
YouTube channel. She's got
Yeah.
loads. You've got an hour or two. Go look at Terry's YouTube.
But what if work is typing nonsense about theme parks? Does that count?
No, it's research.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That is true.
Welcome, John.
Hi, John. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, Robert is watching.
So Robert is watching.
Hello, Robert.
We're sorry you're missing your sport, but we're glad you're here.
Oh yeah, very much.
Is that everyone?
I think that is
That's
everyone.
That's it.
So,
Lots of friends.
yeah, following off from our show last week, because we did spend quite a lot of time discussing Animal Kingdom turning 25 and Earth Day, which happened over the weekend. We did hold some of the stuff back for this week because we knew we were going to be talking about some stuff that's extinct or no longer at Animal Kingdom.
There's
So
lots of extinct things.
where should we begin? Because I'm trying to remember back a week what we discussed and what we didn't
I think we should
discuss.
start with Countdown to Extinction, surely.
That is a very good thing to start off with.
Because, that was the old version of Dinosaur.
Yes.
Did anyone ride it?
No.
No, I've only just ridden Dinosaur though. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, last year.
What about our friends in the chat? Did anyone have the opportunity to ride Countdown to Extinction? Do you think it was better than?
They put pictures in the chat last week, in the Waffle's Arms last week, right after the show, which is why we've got the Waffle's Arms. If you've got pictures about what we're chatting about, put them in the Waffle's Arms.
Yeah.
It really does make a massive, massive difference. It's such a good thing. And tell us what you thought of it in the chat on YouTube.
And Wendy rode the original.
So how different was it to?
I don't think it was any different at all. I think they renamed. As far as I remember, I think the initial video, the welcome show, was different. Different people. I'm sure it was the woman who played Claire Huxtable in the Cosby Show who did it originally, but that might be my brain not remembering correctly. And then the ride was renamed because of the film
off the back
Dinosaur.
of the film.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which kind of bombed.
Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Which is a strangely Disney thing to do, isn't it? Like, you've got
emotion.
Yeah.
And actually, I'd love to put a timeline together as to when Disney made decisions like that, based upon when Men in Black and even like Back to the Future opened at Universal, because it was basically our film's better than your film type sort of bravado competition in order to attract people through the gates. But it kind of seems quite weird.
Because things happened a few more recently as well. When you think of Frozen, when you had like Maelstrom, and it's like, oh, there's a film, it's popular. How much sort of goes into detail of retheming, and then is it just easy just to, like with Dinosaur, we're just going to change the name of it and not change very much else? Just hoping the film does well.
Can we just say hello to Marcus?
Yeah, I saw Marcus.
Hi, Marcus.
Sneaking in there. Hi, Marcus.
I know. He is like a ninja, just like sliding in.
Just indeed.
Okay. The movie was changed to fit the attraction. Sounds like Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's even worse.
I haven't seen the film in years.
I don't think I've ever seen the film.
I've not seen it. No.
It's fairly rubbish.
Yeah.
And Terry's saying, she rode it and it was no different other than the pre-show.
The best bit about Dinosaur is the bit you made it. I knew you would. And that's it. Just for that bit of.
You're not going to make it. You're not
going
to make it.
Yeah.
I think that every week we do this.
That's not our dino.
Yeah.
That is exactly what I think when we do this show every Wednesday, that we're not going to make it, and then when we get to the end, John goes, "We made it."
Yeah. John South, thank you very much. That is exactly what I was thinking. It's all about getting a bit of ownership over the dinosaur theme, isn't it?
Getting one up on the others.
True.
Yeah, but also going back to what you said about Frozen, Claire. You know, when people were becoming quite concerned about sort of the princesses, the whole thing, it's trying to get that balance right of trying to make it appeal towards younger kids as well, which is why Pirates was absolutely perfect. to try and attract and just balance it out. You know, it's must be a really good job, mustn't it? Just sort of organising theme parks. Yeah, I think we could do that. We could do that.
I think we could.
Yeah. I mean, I've never known a child not to like pirates. To be fair.
I'm on the phone again. That's it. Yeah. Dear Mr. Iger.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's probably a bit busy at the minute.
Let me see CVs here.
Yeah,
you
might be caught up today.
I think so. Hey, Colton's onto it as well.
He is. Colton's there.
Yeah. But I've got to say, from this side of the pond,
we're going to steer away. We're steer clear.
I'm not talking politics, but it's quite hilarious from this side of the pond to watch all that pan out. And if you're bored, ridiculous. Come and have a laugh at the politics in this country as well. But
absolutely.
It's also a game of one up anyway, isn't it?
It's Animal Kingdom because it's far more entertaining and far better.
As we're talking about dinosaurs, do we have to talk about the worst roller coaster ever?
Primeval Hurl?
Yeah.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Right.
Well,
it was so appallingly bad. It was brilliant.
It was.
It was a must-do.
Even though it was an off-the-shelf roller coaster, it really literally was point to that one and we'll have that one.
Yeah.
It's just it was atrocious. I rode it once.
To be fair, it fit with the theming of the area quite well.
That's why it looked like that.
Yeah.
It was meant to be
carnival ride.
A trashy carnival ride. It's exactly what it was.
Yeah. Well, also, it was supposed to reference stuff in Dinosaur, wasn't it?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
But kept breaking down, which is,
it kept breaking down.
Congruous with the theming.
Now it's a pushchair park, pram park.
Yeah. It is.
Stroller parking, that's the word.
Yeah.
Yep.
Only for a few short years until, is it Moana?
Well.
Or Zootopia?
Is Zootopia going there?
Zootopia and Moana, I think, is supposed to be going in that area.
And we said a golden retriever experience, please.
Yes.
If you don't mind, that'd be lovely.
I remember that. I've forgotten about that idea.
Not a genius idea by me. Shall we keep walking round towards? Are we touching on shows? I wasn't here for the previous show. I was away somewhere sunny.
I think we can
let's have a mention. Let's have a mention.
I think we can have a mention of the original one.
There
you go. Yeah. And that to me, that is a quintessential moment in Nemo, at which I go from taking loads of pictures, and that photo when I took it, it was just, it is that moment, and it's that a complete moment where you go from being a human being into a gibbering wreck every time, and I make no apologies whatsoever. What was really interesting over the weekend, and I was going to give him a name check as well, but someone on Twitter had put a load of videos on about Tarzan Rocks, and you realise how much Nemo was such a plus from Tarzan Rocks, and obviously the change in the theatre, and I know there's a lot of love for Tarzan Rocks out there, but to be actually in an aircon building with a roof that leaks occasionally, I hasten to add, but with a completely different show. It did move on, but Tarzan Rocks looked, it looked kind of different. I'll put it out different.
No, I never saw it.
I've only heard the music by listening to Deep Park Radio, and it's like it's quite nice. It's just nice just to hear something different. But I can't remember much different from the old Nemo show to the new Nemo show.
And apparently it's like
and it's shorter,
20 minutes shorter.
But I can't remember much from the original.
Oh yeah,
I knew it word for word, Ben. So I've not.
John was there ready to dip in if someone was sick. He was like,
exactly.
Have a crush, don't worry, I can do the song.
I've got to say, I actually think I saw the original Tarzan Rocks.
Oh really?
Ooh.
Yeah,
I don't think we did.
But came away kind of like,
wondering what you just watched.
Yeah, and and as we probably get to later in the show, when you get to the Great Movie Ride T-shirt alert, that bit where Tarzan comes across as well, it was difficult to kind of weigh the two up. When you come back home and it's a real big trip, and you're like, hang on, was that at the show or was that on the movie ride? You're just like, I've no idea. So, and admittedly, Animal Kingdom way back at that time was a very limited experience. I must admit.
Yeah.
So, but
isn't it appropriate to have a leaking roof for a show about being in the sea?
No, it's not, Peter, because it leaks onto the mixing desk.
Oh dear, that is not good. No.
Yeah,
it's called Imagineering, Peter.
Yeah.
It's called the 4D experience.
It's immersive.
Making it real. That's all.
They were forward planning because the spray that they used in sort of Pandora and Flight of Passage, that's where they sort of learned from. We need to get water into attractions and spray water during the ride.
Yeah. I must admit, I've been in there during a particularly vicious thunderstorm in August, and it has been coming through the roof, and you just see people at the sound desk just basically grabbing everything they can to try and keep hold of it, and you just think, oh my word. I think it's a flat roof they put on there. No, it should never have done that. Anyway, let's move on. We weren't going to talk about
roofs,
shows, but hey, let's go to one of the best kick your backside roller coasters in the whole of Walt Disney World.
Yeah,
because it's still open. It's still a classic ride. It's still the best single ride line known to mankind. And it is just simply the epitome of how you should theme a queue line and every last thing.
I think that genuinely it's the best queue line of any attraction.
It's just amazing.
If I cast my mind back, right, when we did our Come Disney with Me segment on the podcast, didn't that win our best attraction?
I think Haunted Mansion won.
I thought Everest was very close. I think especially the whole theming.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It definitely came out top when we did our top queue lines, definitely. Yeah. There's just so much to see.
Yeah.
And it really builds the story. And I very rarely do the full queue line. Very rarely. Yeah. We did in October because Millie did Everest for the first time.
What did you think of it?
Screamed. Well, so she screamed for the first bit, and then she was very quiet, which worried me slightly. I always worry when she's not making any noise because I sort of look over and there's just nothing, sort of this fear in her eyes. But it should be. We're chasing the Yeti. You should be scared.
It's wonderful.
But she did enjoy it. She got off and she was like, that was awful. And I was like, oh, okay. She went, should we do it again? It's like, yay.
Claire, did she take a hair elastic just to...
No, she did ask why they were there. And I was like,
okay.
Long story. But when I hadn't told her. She knew it went backwards. So she wasn't scared. She was scared by that, but not surprised by that. But the bit when you get to the top and the tracks are broken, she was like, Mummy, what's going to happen? And then she went, this is where we go backwards. So it's like, yes.
Smart. I'm trialing something new tonight. If anyone can see it in the comments, I'm hoping you can see this. There is now a poll.
There's a poll. I clicked on it.
There you go. Okay, if you're watching on YouTube, unfortunately, Claire doesn't show
doing fancy stuff. Goodness me.
There's a poll. Is Expedition Everest the best roller coaster at Walt Disney World?
Yeah.
Currently,
Claire, while we talk, argue, and this, that, and the other.
Ben's busy doing clever
Ben's busy.
Stuff.
He's doing IT stuff.
I mean, I have 4 words for you to counter that. Counter anyone
I stopped myself.
You did it. I did 4 minutes before 9 o'clock as well.
I know.
You can get on the BBC. You'll be all right.
We'll have to make an apology.
What I said. At least it's lovely to have you here.
All I can say is it's swung the other way now. It's 56% no.
You see now
Guardians of the Galaxy.
You started something, you see, that's it.
It's going to be an argument,
Yeah. Before we move on, I'm going to name and shame my sister-in-law who doesn't watch the show.
I love it. She doesn't watch. I'm just going to talk about her.
Is that the bit?
Yeah.
You're just going to go. She doesn't watch, and that's what I'm moaning about.
No, well, yeah, mainly. However, I actually remember they came back from Florida, and she was trying to convince me that the ride on Everest went upside down. And we were in my father-in-law's kitchen at the time, and we just had this conversation. And I'm like, it doesn't, it goes backwards. It makes you feel like you're going upside down. But it doesn't. I don't think she talked to me for about 2 years afterwards. Until I actually found something. I sent her just a video of the whole thing in daylight type scenario, where it proves it doesn't go upside down. Apart from the fact that you don't have the over the shoulder
restraints.
Yeah, well, it's the whole thing, We're just like flipping out. But definitely. You know who you are, Karen.
Is that her name?
Yep. But not with an EN, with an IN.
Oh, Karen. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
There you go. But hey, she doesn't watch the show, so I'm all right.
We'll
talk about
it. Keep going round. Where have we got to next?
Got to Everest.
Well, do we need to talk about that lake?
As we're there,
it's that river. Yeah.
Is it 9 o'clock? Can we call it the proper names yet?
Wait, I think what we do, we've got
2 minutes.
We've got a video.
We've got a video.
Let's endure this. Everyone was cheering that it was over.
That was a very mediocre cheer at the end.
There's like 4 people left.
It's like the precursor
the sound of one hand clapping.
Yeah.
Well, I was just thinking that it's a bit like Harmonious, but without the fireworks.
Yeah. Yeah.
I never saw it, but I have to say it's better than the kites.
Oh,
yeah, to be fair.
It's entertaining though, especially when they're like this.
It's the stuff of nightmares.
There are some things that we're glad that aren't Animal Kingdom anymore.
I don't understand who thought that was a good idea. How did that get through all of the layers of decisions?
I think he's no longer with the company.
It can't have been him. He would, but then there's a whole load of other people. who would have gone, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Really?
Let's have these crash. Let's just.
Yeah. And actually,
inadvertent. I liked it what they amended to after a month or so, where
they announced
made it
that they will crash.
They will crash.
And like we meant that to happen. Yeah.
But the thing is, though,
yes, possibly, yes.
And
Mark Whiting's here
as well.
Yeah.
Hi, Surf.
Yeah. Hi, John. You all right? What I was going to say is, if you go back to Rivers of Light to give it its Sunday name, which it never usually does in our house.
Do you use the Cockney rhyming slang version of it?
What, the word that rhymes with light and starts with the phonetic sh? Yes, I do. Which is fabulous for teaching kids phonics. I hate. Said the teacher in the corner. But if you think about it, that was so late into actually getting into the park that the summer before it actually went live, they had this, was it a Jungle Book light show type thing with screens and stuff, and that was rubbish as well.
Yeah.
I hasten to add.
That was the temporary show that was Rivers of Light.
Well, they were making
and it wasn't ready, and it was Well, that was so poor, and yet some of the music involved on some of the boats that came in and out while you're watching Jungle Book on the water screen, which inevitably was in the wrong place because the wind would come from the wrong direction, and you couldn't see the screen itself. Imagine Phantasmic on a windy night. But this was like most nights at Animal Kingdom, and it's just like someone has not done this properly. Someone has not actually, someone deserved to be let go and go and work at Wally World or somewhere else. Blackpool Pleasure Beach.
I reckon the kites were somewhere.
Blackpool Pleasure Beach is not too bad, thank you very much.
It's horrendous, Peter. Don't try and say it isn't.
That's my childhood.
Peter, I was going to say, I was even going to give a mention to Flamingo Land, but I won't even. Flamingo Land down the road from me is not bad.
Hi, Carlos.
Hi, Carlos.
Thank you for joining us. I'm not caught with some of Carlos's Lego builds as well for a while. So Carlos, I'll try and dip into one of them. I always find it. He sends something on Twitter, and I always miss out. So. Yeah.
Oh, Kelly, you need to practice your Cockney. It rhymes with light and kite, but it starts with a sh sound.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all right. I'll do it. I'll do it even better. Right. So you get the phonetical sound. Sh.
Oh, can we do it like Sesame Street, where we have one sitting on the wall, and we bring the two bits to the words
and
together.
And you've got
spell it, you know.
And you've got it. Right, and you put the two together.
The magic E on the end.
If you put the magic E on the end, it turns to an E, and then you go. There you go.
Oh, I love it. I hope that's what your assemblies used to be like, John.
Phonics on a Wednesday night. I love phonics. Oh
yeah. Oh my goodness. Let's move on. We've done the Lagoon thing.
We've done our teaching moment.
I'm just looking at the time and thinking, we're still at Animal Kingdom.
I know!
Animal Kingdom. And actually, look, I've worn a T-shirt for a reason.
You're going to have to wait.
I know, but I've got the football.
For another 2 weeks, John.
My phone is going absolutely mental with football updates and all this. And I'm trying to remain concentrated on the show.
Right.
How professional.
Concentrate.
Thank you, Peter. Appreciate it.
Where else have we got to talk about Animal Kingdom?
We could talk about Carly
Well,
Rabbits.
the bird show
Also got quite a good queue line.
Yeah.
Would it be a classic attraction though?
Well, it's the only raft ride.
Yeah.
In Walt Disney World.
Yeah. It's a bit poor though, isn't it?
It's just very short.
It's very short. It could with being a bit
could
longer.
be better.
The problem is it doesn't help that half an hour up the road you've got
their most epic raft ride
in the world. Yeah.
Okay, we'll gloss over it then, pretend it doesn't exist.
The bird show has changed so many times.
Yeah.
It has.
What was
and
it?
I've still never seen it.
Flights of Wonder?
Flights of Wonder originally,
Flights of Wonder,
then
And Up a Great Bird Adventure.
And now it's with the Friends in Flight.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
It's a walk past.
Isn't it basically the same show, just slightly different theming?
Kind of.
Yeah.
It's more like Flights of Wonder than it was Up. Great Bird Adventure.
Yeah.
Up.
Okay.
Let's get over to Africa.
Russell in it. Doug and Russell in it.
So,
is there anything new in Africa? Well,
it's not new. We're talking about extinct and classic rides, and I think
classic.
I think the most classic ride at Animal Kingdom is probably the safari, isn't it?
Right, it has to be. Has to be mentioned.
It's probably a reason a lot of people go to Animal Kingdom is just to be that close to the animals.
Yeah,
and you do sometimes get really close, or they quite like to get close.
Oh, they get close.
I'm looking at you, Mr. Ostrich.
Yeah. Oh, giraffes. I've had giraffe here.
They just stand there and decide they're going to stand in the middle of the. And you get the queue line gets longer and longer and longer because they have a giraffe that doesn't want to move.
Every time you see a 90-minute queue, it's a giraffe, it's a zebra, there's an animal just in
I think it's the right
place.
Yeah, I like it when you're on the ride and you could just be there you'd never know how long that ride's going to be.
I know.
Yeah,
it's great. Karen, it's nice to see you. We also remember the Wobbly Bridge and the Little Red Big Red storyline, and we touched on that last week slightly. And it's moved on, but it's still. I'm sad the Wobbly Bridge isn't still wobbly, to be honest with you. But the hydraulics may.
I am as well. Yeah, but it's
because it's still a bit rickety. It's just not wobbly.
Yeah, but when it was wobbly and you were on the
crocodile side,
with people who didn't know. And it was their first time on there, and you just like, and you could tell because they were absolutely, papping themselves. He said, trying to
scared to death.
Proud. Yeah, there you go, Peter. That's it. Yeah. Marcus, totally agree, and I think that it was good to see that they actually bothered changing it, because I think it would have been really lazy if they hadn't,
But the safari is pretty epic, isn't it? I mean, it's a long attraction. It's a high capacity attraction, which means that lots and lots of people can get on that during the day. And there's different times of the day to go. For us, I'm always an early morning safari. It's usually my first ride of my trip.
I like that, Claire. You said this a few times now, and I think it's.
Oh, sorry, am I repeating myself?
No.
Is that what you're saying, John? You're just being really polite, going, Claire. You're just repeating.
No,
yourself.
I'm not.
We know Claire's plan Animal Kingdom. She goes here. She goes to Tusker
House at the safari.
I like
that.
I like that because actually, I always go for something. When you plan a trip. Oh, sorry. I'm thinking we could get another show out of this, guys. How do you plan your first day at Walt Disney World? Right, here you go. Write it down, everyone. We'll come back to that
on another show.
But Claire, I appreciate the fact that you actually go for something. It works. You know what you want, and you actually make it work for you guys. And
definitely,
I think it takes away all of that sort of question mark about how you start a trip, and I think it's a really good way of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It really is.
I have to admit, I always wanted that wobbly bridge to do what the safari used to do in Busch Gardens.
Oh,
I never did
that.
Busch Gardens.
Pardon?
Was it intentional what it did at Busch Gardens?
Yes. It used to float off down the river.
Oh,
yeah. I remember that.
I wouldn't want to get any closer to those. I say that as we're going to hopefully do World Africa Trek in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of other closed things. So we talked a little bit about Rafiki's Planet Watch last week and how it's changed significantly.
I'm trying not to repeat what we've done.
I know, and I'm thinking around the park, and we talked about Camp Mickey last week quite a lot. Actually.
Yeah.
And how good it was. And how missed it is. And I think the only thing we do need to mention, if you're talking about classic rides, attractions, just the addition of Pandora has just put Animal Kingdom into a completely different, stratosphere completely. And at that point, let's jump on the bus. Let's go to the studios because we've done 40 minutes and I think we're going long. We're going long.
That was the quick segment of Animal Kingdom.
That was it. Yeah, it was.
We said, well,
let's go over to MGM.
And back in our time machine.
To give it its proper name, Claire.
We're in time machine again.
Yeah.
Disney's MGM Studios.
Yeah.
That's what it is to me. It'll always be that.
It's just MGM.
Opened in 1989.
There's that green archway. Always.
I never
Hollywood
went
Studios.
to it when it was MGM. So it's always been Hollywood Studios.
I never saw it when it was MGM either. Just Hollywood Studios.
Oh no, it was a proper studio, and that's basically, to start off with that premise with Golden Girls and just Streets of America. Yeah,
it was so good.
Call me old fashioned.
So John Hibbler, the Golden Girls.
But it was good though. Go on, Ben. I thought he was going to slot in a video there of the start.
Well, the Golden Girls.
The Golden Girls. That would have been perfect, wouldn't it? But it was just brilliant. It was to actually go and see people working there within the studio, within a park that really had loads to offer. It wasn't a theme park; it was a working TV studio.
Yeah,
and I still feel that was something that over time, and obviously in the way that TV has adapted, etc. But it was really, really sort of been one of those things that I don't know if you can actually say it's changed for the better. It's different. I think that's probably the way of looking at it. It's different.
Yeah, it's really different now.
Yeah.
Marcus, I love the fact that you got picked for Superstar TV. That's brilliant.
The Three Stooges segment.
Got hit in the face with a
pie. That is such a Marcus.
How old were you when that happened, Marcus? Is that when you were an adult? Or were you a child? And did that spark your love of acting?
Oh, wow. It was so good.
It was just so great.
Tour.
The backlot tour was like...
It was great.
With the bit where the bloke in the cabin got the submarine bit got drenched.
Oh, do you mean this bit?
And action! All right, you're talking to the captain. You got a problem in the engine room. Oh no, you're taking on water. You've got a problem. Keep talking, keep talking. And cut.
Yes, that bit. And then it was fire as well.
Watching, I survived that moment very well. I still get a bit of water in my ear.
Yeah, you did very well.
Yeah,
I know it wasn't me.
It was brilliant. That whole bit, that walk-through bit before you loaded onto the trams, that was so cool. And then the prop warehouse that you queued through. That was brilliant. I used to love going through there. And you used to go past on the tram. You used to go through costuming, all of that stuff, which you just miss now. The backlot tour bit, various different houses, properties,
airplane.
The
airplane.
Yeah,
around the back of Catastrophe Canyon.
I've got to say, even the Catastrophe Canyon bit, I can take or leave. I really.
Yeah. It was
everything else was just really, But that bit, as long as you got the kids in the truck
right
first,
side,
on your you're all right. You're all right. Trust your dad. You're right.
It's a good view. Best view.
I've got to admit, because I'm a bit nerdy on things like this, but when the actual backlot tour shut, we were the second to last. Basically lorry that arrived back. Yeah. And it was just like, when you were just like watching something disappear forever. And it was one of those trips where You knew it was going to finish. You knew that if you timed it about right, you might get lucky. And we didn't. We missed out on the very last one. However, it wasn't with a heavy heart. So, when we've talked about through the other three parks, when sometimes when rides go away, I think for everybody, you just knew that the Backlot Tour had kind of got to a natural end, a bit like Ellen in Epcot. It didn't eat up the numbers. It was kind of interspersed with the car show, and when that was on, the Backlot Tour wasn't quite as good, and it was a bit weird. It kind of epitomised of too many attractions getting chucked into a theme park, desperately trying to get numbers in, yet losing sight of why it was there in the first place. Even the water tower, to me, it still should have been the epitome of what the studio's icon should be.
Yeah.
And somewhere along the line that got lost. We lost the hat, and the park evolved.
People were quite happy that the hat did go.
I completely accept that, and
I did like the hat.
That was. It was
not necessarily its location
in the wrong place. Yeah, exactly.
But the hat itself, absolutely. Especially at night.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, and also was the focal point for fireworks, and particularly the original summer that they did. I think it was the Frozen fireworks, because they shut the back of the park, and you were actually able to get some absolutely amazing pictures of fireworks, just with the hat just as the focal point. It was absolutely amazing just to be in there, but to actually watch how a park has completely been reimagined, and that for me is something that I think Disney have done very, very well.
Yeah.
And I feel very privileged to have been part of watching that over a considerable period of time.
We've all seen so much change in the past few years. Our first trip to Walt Disney World is in 2013. So in the 10 years that have seen how much has changed just in one park.
Yeah. Most of Hollywood Studios has changed.
Yeah.
In the past 10 years.
And the car park.
Yeah.
It's actually become a much better place to park your car and walk into the park.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Just saying. Just as an additional.
So someone mentioned in the chat, Heather mentioned the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids stuff. Do you remember the Honey, I Shrunk the Kids playground?
Play area, yeah.
I remember that. Definitely. I remember going there as a probably early teen and climbing around in there. The dog's tongue, I think there was definitely big bits of corn and grass and stuff. It was very cool. And oh my goodness, Marcus, Monster Sound Show. Remember that? Yeah, that was so cool. I remember that, and I was trying to remember whether that was at Disney or at Universal, but you just confirmed it was at Disney. And is that the one where they did the Foley artist stuff, and they had people crunching through the gravel pit, and people got picked out to do the sounds. It was very cool.
Was that in the same building that they did Sounds Dangerous?
Yes, with Drew Carey. Yeah, yes. That's what it changed to eventually.
Yeah, what it changed to. Because that building has changed quite a bit, because it went from Sounds Dangerous to, wasn't it Millionaire? Was in that
building? To be a Millionaire?
Yeah.
It did have that, and then it had the Pop Idol type thing.
Oh, the American
Idol thing, yeah.
And wasn't it at one time the base for kids lightsabers fighting Darth Vader?
Which one? The Jedi Training Academy. That was just outside Star Tours.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the practice area was in that building at one point.
I don't know. They've been young enough to do it.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
was in that building.
I've just seen. Karen saying that the Universal had the horror makeup show. That's where I'm
They did, yeah.
I've
saw
seen
that
an awful
first
lot
time this year.
Comments for something that I think all of us would love to return. The
Osborne Family Lights.
Yes. 100%.
Never saw it.
Yeah.
Never saw it.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Amazing.
It's brilliant. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Music. Closed in 2015.
Just walking around with hot chocolate.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. I'm sad I missed it. I'm sad it's just, that was never the time of year that we visited. So
yeah. We were just lucky we were there at the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We got very lucky to go and see it.
A couple of first times we took the kids, and I'll need to see. I'm pretty sure it might even be something to put on YouTube Shorts, Ben. Yeah. But there's a tiny snippet of film with our Joe when he gets out of his pushchair. And it's basically him and Josh basically pogoing to the music. And it's just like, as such young kids. So they'll be like, what, 4 and 2. And just to see them within that whole atmosphere. And it's the music. I know we've talked in one of the earliest podcasts that Lloyd was on. And we talked about the music of it. Mm-hmm. And even now, of a Christmas, it will still be part of the Christmas soundtrack in our house.
Yeah.
Purely because it takes us back. And it was just like so incredible as an actual show. And to think about even after we'd first seen it, up until when you guys went in 2013, to see how it actually reinvented itself year after year was just amazing. It really is. It's just, yeah. John Self, thank you very much. That's on a look. Yeah.
Just found that John and Marcus are from the same place. They've just discovered they're both from Little Rock.
Wow, there you go. You see? There you go.
They're just 2 little guys from Little Rock. There's a song in there somewhere. I'm so sad that I missed it. I'm so sad. It's just one of those things that you think, I wish I'd seen it.
If only I'd changed my holiday then, or just been able. But it always happens. It's always going to
happen. So
yeah.
It was the reason that Jill finally came round to going to Walt Disney World.
What, the Osborne Nights?
Yeah,
that's persuaded her.
Yeah,
gosh,
that persuaded
really.
Her,
I thought it was Tower of Terror, but.
Oh yeah, let's move it on, because there's so much in the studios that you can actually discuss. I know we mentioned about the writer's stop. I think it's probably appropriate just now. If you went with us at the start, this is a place that was much lamented when it shut.
Yep.
Yeah,
I feel like we almost need to have a moment's silence in homage
to. maybe a little browse of the books that were in there, and sort of the Kingdom Keepers.
Oh my goodness, that was the only place you could buy them, and we ended up our luggage weighed so much because Morgan was into them, and
we did exactly the same.
We had to buy them there; they couldn't get them in the UK, and that was the only bookshop that was stocking them. Yeah. So I think over the course of about 3 trips, we accrued them all. We've still got them all. Morgan, we'd be like, can we get the next one? Can we get the next one? So we have to wait until we get to the writer's stop. That was all we could do.
It was a special place for unknown reasons. I don't know what it was.
It sold the original carrot cake cookie. It was just famous for the thing, just place to stop. It was just one of those places that was just
and slow service.
Beautiful atmosphere inside.
That's
it was
just
never
like
busy.
That
laid back service and a carrot cake cookie and a coffee.
Yeah.
And a comfortable
and a browse of the books.
And a browse of the books. It was.
And when we went, sparrows flying in and out and trying to dive bomb your table.
Oh, I didn't ever have that.
I've never.
Yes, well, we did. Yes, yes, we did.
Yeah, well,
Marcus.
There you go.
Marcus is mentioning starring roles.
Starring roles.
I was just thinking that actually.
Have a finger cupcake, anyone?
And that was really, if you were in for park opening, that was the bit. Do you go to starring roles or do you go to writer's stop? Most people most people got caught up with Star and Rose. So if you go to the writer's stop, very few people knew it was there.
Yeah.
And kept walking. Just kept walking. Just didn't know it existed.
They thought it was part of the streets of America. Yeah.
Yeah.
They thought it was, didn't think it was real. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was part of the charm of it. Yeah. It really wasn't. Yeah. Much missed.
And however,
Baseline Tap. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Baseline Tap House is great.
Baseline Tap is a fantastic replacement. I've got to say, because I think I have said before, certainly online, I've always whinged about the writer's stop disappearing, but I do like a visit to the Baseline Tap, just to watch the world going by, and just. Yeah,
you can justify it by saying you're going to the writer's stop because the signage is still there on the shelf.
It's still there. Go and check it out. It's still there. But now you can have a beer instead of a coffee.
And a pretzel.
I'd rather have a coffee.
And a pretzel. Oh, that pretzel.
You can still do that. Just have to go to Starbucks and
there's a charcuterie board as well.
Yeah, we have both.
Excellent.
I'll go for
absolutely superb.
Yeah, but Streets of America.
Yeah,
Streets of America. They had, I mean, that backdrop, that fake facade, which had
Streets of San Francisco.
It was amazing, and I've got somewhere in my parents' loft. We've got photos and photos and photos and photos of us as kids there. And the band Mulch, Sweat and Tears.
Cheers.
What good call. Good call.
Yes, that's it. I remember them being there.
Shears, I remember them.
And they used to have quite a lot of streetmosphere going on that particular era. I remember getting caught up in some sort of barriers and acting thing going on when I was a teenager. Yeah, there was lots to see and do and be involved in. And they had the bit with the umbrella, the singing in the rain moment.
Yep.
Which they have at Disney. They used to have at Disneyland Paris.
You had to have a photo taken with that.
You did.
It was the law. The law. You just had.
But in Disneyland Paris, it was Le Power Pli de Cherbourg, wasn't it?
It was, but that's gone now.
Not quite the same.
No. But that whole area, there's loads around that area, and then eventually it changed into the lights. Well, what I call lights motor action, which is not how I don't know what they called it in Orlando.
Lights motors action.
Yeah, I always think of it in the French version, which is first, with the Vauxhall Corsa going backwards.
Yeah.
See, when we saw it, we only saw it once. But when we saw it, we had Lightning McQueen in it.
Yeah.
Oh,
2013.
Yeah.
Because that was also when Hollywood Studios was started to do more character meet and greets during the summer.
Cars overlay.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever saw it. I don't know if I ever saw it in Orlando. I've definitely seen it.
I didn't see it in Orlando. Yeah, me too.
I did.
It's the same show. Right. It's exactly the same show.
Exactly the same show. Exactly the same outcome. And if you've seen it once, and this was the issue, it actually ate up so much attendance.
Yeah.
So yes, it was a big auditorium.
So at that point, you would get onto most of the other rides really quick and easy. Mm-hmm. And then you knew once it let out,
that was it. You're done for.
Don't even touch most of that part of the park. So, and it was just it was a case of just plan your day around showtime. Go to the other side of the park, and it took masses of people, and it was a good show. It was just like the one in Paris was. It was. But again, like I said about Backlot Tour, you kind of don't miss it anymore.
Yeah. No.
And it's just kind of, it was one of them things, plonk this right in the middle of the park. And I don't even, I'm not going to have a rant about it because actually, it's probably not worth it.
Yeah. I thought Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles were at Universal in their New York area with Beetlejuice.
Oh no!
I
remember seeing pictures.
I have photos of that.
Oh, now here we go.
If anyone's got any pictures, put them in the Waffle Zone. We'll add this discussion in the Waffle Zone tomorrow because because I'll have
It was
a look.
definitely the Beetlejuice show, and I'm sure, maybe I'm wrong.
I remember seeing a parade, I think, of early MGM, and it had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in it.
Maybe it did. Maybe I'm getting them mixed up.
But isn't Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Nickelodeon, which is Universal?
That's what I was thinking, Becca.
Yeah.
And they used to have the Nickelodeon Studios area. I mean, this is a whole other show. But,
while you chat, I will do a quick research. Google.
Google.
And I saw a comment about some really good meet and greets from there. But John, the best meet and greet ever was in Streets of America, round the back by the Muppets, and which was the one that I queued for hours.
Only one you've ever queued that long for, isn't it?
Phineas and Ferb, the best meet and greet.
Has to be done.
Yes,
Marcus
Teenage
says
Mutant
that
Ninja
yes,
Turtles
they were.
Disney World, MGM Studios.
Wow.
Gosh.
There you go. Thank you, Marcus.
Thank you. That must have been early 90s, like 91, 92, I reckon.
Yeah.
Was probably when I was there.
Yeah, open 1990.
I remember.
I'm also the parade. The parade at the studios. Heaven forbid. Used to have Bear.
Did it have Bear in it? I don't know.
Bear.
I'm so sad that I missed that.
It was stars in their cars, and I think it also.
Oh my goodness!
I think Tutter used to be on the bonnet of the car.
Okay.
It's just
Brilliant.
show me. But absolutely brilliant.
We only saw the Pixar parade at studios. There was a Pixar parade, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is that the one that had like the trampolines and stuff?
Oh, I tell you what, used to be.
There was definitely one, which was.
I think there was one that was. It ran for about 18 months, and it actually, at part of the parade, it was popping out these balls out of the thing, and
that's the one I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, but as actual keepsakes of your holiday, as you keep stuff like that. Yeah, that was in the days before people cared about plastic. And stuff.
Health and safety.
But it was just like spongy Pixar balls.
Yeah.
So
nice.
I mean you've got two young kids. Go help yourself, kids.
Thank you, Terry. I'm not going mad. There was one with trampolines. And
yes, there was.
stuff.
Yeah.
Definitely.
The one that I'm thinking of had Mr. and Mrs. Incredible on the top of some of the rides.
Yeah.
And our group that we had was the insects, the bugs from Bugs Life.
Bugs Life.
Because it was kind of split up into different sections and different.
In some ways, that then morphed itself into being the move it, shake it, celebrate it party.
It did in
Magic,
Magic
Kingdom.
Yes.
And I think probably some of the ride vehicles actually went with it.
Yeah, probably.
Primarily because the studios at that time started to become like a building site, and just that re-evolving of what it was all about. I'm just aware, guys, we've got loads still to talk about. Great movie ride. Let's put it out there.
We best talk about that before.
I think we better before we head to the other side of the park.
Yep.
Because this is actually, I actually think as a ride itself, it is the most missed thing. And I always remember. I remember before it closed, there was a T-shirt company that were doing T-shirts. Make the movie ride great again, which I thought was quite a nice thing. And as with most things to do with music and to do with films, people own licenses in theme parks, etc., and just don't work. And so we have to accept that it needed to kind of go away, but it's really missed. Plus the fact I don't have to subject the kids to watching all these films that were from both sides of it. It's just like,
that was the thing.
What's the Wizard of Oz all about, Dad?
Oh,
just like,
Did you not? I remember one time actually sitting there. I think I must have had a pencil and a piece of paper in my bag or something, maybe a really early phone where I was taking notes and going through that video, that show at the end of it where it went through all the different clips from films, like literally making a list of all the films that I either hadn't seen for ages or had never seen. Going, got to see that, got to see that, got to see that, got to see that. Just like, I've probably still got the list somewhere, but there's so many films that I've never seen that had just made me want to go and watch straight away.
And I think that remained true to the MGM part of the whole park.
Yeah.
And that's the bit I really, you felt, I still feel in awe in a way, because I know, Ben, you will watch every Marvel film as it comes. Yep. I'm still not into Marvel stuff. But
how many films have you seen, John?
One. I'm proud. But
for that, John, there we go. Until he's watched another Marvel film.
It might take a while, huh? You're right. See, each their own.
For people watching in America, I won't even begin to explain. However, you can look up yourself. I actually no. I was saying. I mean, all of the fact that people watch so many films and will be able to go through the great movie ride and actually say they've watched from Casablanca right the way through to, well, I think it was Big and things like that. I think it was Tom Hanks' big ending that was there, and it was immense. There's no getting away from it. It was just the most incredible way of having a theme park sort of narrate a series of films.
Yeah,
I just think it's.
I still think that Judy Garland animatronic looks nothing like Judy Garland.
It didn't
at all.
But
nothing like her.
But the
Humphrey Bogart one was a bit bad, but
in a weird way.
Bogey had been died.
The alien was free.
Bogey had died a few years.
I remember being terrified of the alien scene when I first saw it. And did everyone see the different storylines?
Yes.
Yeah. The cowboy.
Yes. No.
So they shoot him up.
I didn't see the cowboy. I only ever saw the gangster.
Cowboy was quite rare, I think.
Yeah, I think they brought the cowboy out when they needed to spin the ride when there was a high loading.
Yes.
When they needed a bit of John Wayne.
But I saw both. I think Morgan and I saw the cowboy just the year it closed. I think we saw the cowboy one, and it was the first time I'd ever seen it. I always had the gangster until then.
Yeah.
So it was very cool.
See, the thing is, I liked Great Movie Ride, but I'm also glad what's come from it. So what has replaced it?
Yeah,
because I think
agree.
Mickey and Minnie's, it's amazing. It really is. It's incredible what they've done with technology, but also what they've managed to do, but also keep that feel of the cinema and that feel of the queue line and just keeping everything from the Chinese theatre, and it feels like it.
Yeah.
And I think it has one of the most interactive and the best pre-shows.
Yeah.
I don't
does everybody follow the Pluto subplot?
I love the bit that Pluto gets slammed in the boot. It's brilliant.
But there's the whole Pluto subplot where he appears in different parts of it. Yep.
It was very clever.
It is, yeah.
It's always that thing, isn't it, when they take something amazing away and there's the anticipation but also the slight sadness that the next thing isn't going to be as good. I think Mickey and Minnie's is incredible attraction, and certainly the first time you see it, it kind of blows your mind a little bit, and it's I think it is re-rideable. Would I would I be sad if the Great Movie Ride made a guest appearance? Absolutely not.
But I think as well, Claire, I think with Studios is actually probably the best example of a theme park completely reinventing itself.
Yeah, it's so different,
and it needed to, because again, like we said, the movie ride could not have existed given licensing as regards names and films, etc. But to put Mickey and Minnie in there, I think it remained true to the spirit of not just the theme park, but also the actual Chinese theatre as well.
And the fact that they got such a prominent attraction.
Yeah.
It's first Mickey and Minnie attraction. I think it made it's really special.
It's surprising it's been this long since we've... The parks have been so long without having a main Mickey and Minnie attraction.
Yeah. And possibly one of them ones that, we always said before about sort of Epcot stealing Ratatouille from France. And so it's the one where it's in the studios, and it will go worldwide as well because it's very easy to replicate. So, no, I like that.
What else have we missed that closed? Or
the pirate thing? Did anybody but us?
Johnny Depp.
That was that went away.
Jack Sparrow thing.
No,
the Jack Sparrow thing.
It wasn't.
It was next to One Man's Dream, wasn't it?
It was,
Wasn't it
the most pointless thing I've ever seen?
Caspian walkthrough first.
Oh my word!
I think it was. Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
That was appalling.
That was terrible.
It was that we saw the Jack Sparrow thing on the very last day because there was a big mural on the wall outside one day, and then we went back to studios the next day, and that mural had been painted over completely. It had just gone.
Yeah.
So
and rightly so.
Yeah.
So long, farewell.
Next to that, you've got The Little Mermaid, which hasn't reopened.
Which hasn't reopened, no.
I don't know whether it will.
Well, they've got the new film coming out next month.
Yeah. They've got people coming to sort the carpet out so it doesn't smell damp anymore.
That's good. That's going to take a few years to sort out.
I think they'll do something with it depending on how well the live action does.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Lots of dance like that attraction.
Yeah. What used to be where the Star Wars meet and greet is now? What used to be
animation?
Great, the studio.
Of course, the animation studio.
Something else, and I'm trying to look at the signature to see whose picture that is. I'm pretty certain it's not mine. It'd be my wife's. Because she's a far better artist than I am. But what an amazing thing. It's one of them little unknown things that if you were in the know, you just got yourself into, and you got a proper Disney animator giving you a step-by-step guide, and it was like random characters, a little bit like they put into this into Animal Kingdom at
Rafiki's.
But it was brilliant. It was absolutely amazing, and just again one of them things that really just kept it just totally in touch with the original. And given the fact that you come out of the film with One Man's Dream, and then you just come out, quick left, and then you're straight into it kind of flowed from as a park. It kind of flowed in that way, and you kind of go, well, I've seen what Walt did. Yeah, this is what I'm going to have a go.
And you got a free souvenir.
Yeah. I don't know whether we've still got ours, but we somewhere we did Pascal.
Oh, cool! Wow, I remember doing Mushu, which was cool. Oh, it was so much fun, and they do still have that on the they had it on the Disney Wish a few weeks ago. However, it wasn't a live animator. It was a video.
Recording.
Which I think was really sad.
They've recorded a lot
of Magic. We had a live animator.
There is some YouTube.
You can follow them.
Follow them on YouTube.
I spent a lot of time in lockdown, sort of drawing.
But it's one of them really interesting ones. Just going to pick up on the chat. Enchanted. Thank you for joining us.
Hello,
driving all night, and you thought you'd miss us. There you go.
You did. We went long just for you.
We're going long just so we could have you coming in. We're still waiting on Charlie anyway. Don't worry. Disney.
We can't end the show
until we say hello to Charlie.
Yeah. Charlie be here just right on the bit.
Give it.
Next week.
He's probably waiting for us to press like the countdown.
It's
coming up. Yes.
Just keep spinning it out till Charlie's there. Anything else that we've missed?
I miss that bit. I also the Disney Kids stage,
Disney Junior stage show,
yeah, which kind of it had some of the most amazing meet and greets. I would completely admit to that. Handy Manny is. I don't think I put a picture of our Joe in the.
I think it's there somewhere. I looked at it last night. Yeah.
Is it?
Morgan loved Handy Manny, so because obviously Morgan and Josh are the same age, and Walt loved Handy Manny.
Handy Manny was brilliant. But there's a picture of our Joe, and he got the same outfit as Handy Manny. And we went for a picture. He's like, if it's not there, so Ben, great. I will find it for the Waffle sound. I'm trying to find it.
Just embarrassed Joe a little bit.
But that changed quite quickly as your kids changed, because I think the first one we saw there was Bear in the Big Blue House, which was just like, for me, irrespective of the kids, Bear in the Big Blue House was
the kids. We want Bear in the Big Blue House.
But that was good. It evolves because the Disney Channel changed what your kids were watching, so
absolutely
it had to be reactive to that. Yeah. But let's go out of the hangar left and to that massively imposing site at the end of Hollywood Boulevard. But before we get to before we get to Tower of Terror, kind of just the little bit where is it Beauty and the Beast sing along, etc. is.
Yeah.
Can I just have a little mention for the greatest live music orchestra show I've ever heard? And that was when they did Pixar Live, and I reckon it must have been 2015, 16, 17, something like that. But it was at one summer. It was absolutely amazing. And it was a summer that everything was going away. And so they thought, wow, we need to try and get crowds in to the other side of the park. To see an orchestra play some of the Pixar music and to see it live with characters was absolutely. I'll never forget it. I really won't.
I think that stage was perfect for it as well. I know it wasn't there at the time. It was really good, and I remember during, I think it must have been after COVID, that the Grand Floridian Orchestra played there for their last performance.
Right. Okay.
It's that type of place. So the actual acoustics are so good.
Yeah.
But it's really weird because we're actually talking about most of the things that in the studios that went away are all the ones that were personnel heavy.
Yeah.
And probably
that's the thing.
Probably cost. The production cost must have been absolutely massive. Yeah. And you can see why an accountant sat in an office is going to go, nah, let's cut that. Let's cut that. Let's cut that.
Else then.
And it's just, and that, that's like it or not. That's the bottom line, isn't it? So,
are we going to finish with your fate? Oh, go on.
I was going to say, what about the sort of other attractions that we've not thought that are probably classic that aren't closed?
There's 3 down there.
Yeah, Tower of Terror.
That's what I was saying. We're going to finish with John's favourite ride.
Yeah,
favourite ride of the whole lot. And Rock and Roller, Ben's new now favourite ride.
I know, it's shut.
Yeah, but Ben's now beaten on it. So he's beaten on it. That's all we want. So
I was going to say, does that count as a closed attraction now?
Well, it's temporarily closed.
It'll be back. It'll be back.
There's no.
They've said summer. They've said summer.
What does that mean?
That means like July, doesn't it?
I reckon
December.
What they're actually doing, right, is they're putting in, some of them old animatronic things to replace Aerosmith from their youth. And it's now going to be Aerosmith current day. So it's just going to be like really slow and just like,
I don't know what they're going to do. But...
Zimmer frames and
Well, whatever they do, hopefully it will make it less tech. Because
as
when we were
long
there
as the
in
Springsteen
December,
T-shirt exists on the wall on your right-hand side before the pre-show. That's all I'm saying. It's just like Springsteen Magic Tour 19 whenever it is. Yeah, every time.
You have missed something.
Picture taken. Go on, Peter. What have we missed?
Phantasmic.
That's probably Joe something.
That went away and came back and changed.
Yeah. And Claire then went to see it.
I think Claire saw it.
Yeah,
seen it twice.
I've seen the new one as well. Yes,
and actually, in this week of all weeks, to actually talk about Phantasmic and how heartbreaking it was in Disneyland.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah, with the.
I also feel how lucky we are at Walt Disney World to actually still have.
That's true.
Phantasmic. It's the most beautiful. It's the most amazing nighttime show.
I did learn something new about the Disneyland Dragon though. It was apparently called Murphy.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's something I learned this week.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's something to do with Murphy's Law or something like that. I don't know. Yeah. I think it was.
I've decided that I can't see Phantasmic without Zach, unfortunately.
and sitting in the splash zone.
No, we didn't sit at the front this time, but we did have a lot of fun. So Zach Brown is like my official Phantasmic partner.
Yeah,
it has to happen.
Oh, wonderful! I'm going to do a shameless plug way in advance because, as Claire has alluded to, we're going to go out and we're going to do the Willie Nelson ending. We're going to go out on a high. Ted Lasso. But yeah.
Don't talk about
secret.
Yeah.
It's like we don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso.
We will go out on a high. And actually, Claire, you actually nailed this. It will remain my most favourite ride. Just because it is such good fun. Again and again and again. And even when you go to Paris, it's still good fun. Even if you get the Guardians overlay where they've done that, it still looks absolutely amazing. And it's just brilliant. Tower of Terror.
Yeah.
To a thought of actually trying to actually boost the park the way they did after opening in 82 and actually moved all the way across and built that and rock and roller. You can see exactly why they did it, but also it's such a great ride. Yeah, it really is.
From the queue line, it's a ride that I'm just so glad that I've had a chance to experience multiple times.
Yeah, you enjoy it a lot more than I do.
You have done it now.
Yeah. I have done it,
twice.
Yeah. There you are. Because this time last year you hadn't done it.
Yeah.
That's true, I hadn't.
Yeah.
I hadn't done Rock and Roller either, and I've done that now as well.
There you go.
I think the only attraction / ride that we haven't done is Mission Space.
Yeah, that's true.
I can understand that.
Disney World.
Yeah.
I've only ever done the soft version of that.
Might change that this year. We'll see.
Yeah.
I think Tower of Terror is an incredibly themed attraction. There is no question that the way in which the story is constructed to make you feel anxious, to give you those butterflies, to make you worried about going around what the next corner is, or getting in that lift, or standing in the queue before you board the ride vehicle, and then when the doors shut and you're like, what have I done? Every time I sit there going, why am I doing this? You know what? But it's just that anticipation in the true Rocky Horror sense of the word is just the best thing. And it's so clever because it doesn't matter how many times you ride the attraction, you still feel it. Well, for me, I do anyway. It just gives you that thrill of this is going to be incredible. Right, Marcus, the boiler room. It's an amazing queue line. The lighting, the sound, the theming. It's such a theatrical attraction in terms of the way it's put together that it is it's outstanding. I think there are very few other attractions that are built in the same sort of, if you take together the sound, sight, smell, all of that stuff. It's really clever, really clever.
I think as well, Claire, and it's probably possibly a difference between Florida and Paris, but actually when you get in the studios, as you get to the bit where the doors open and the heat hits you first,
and
you move forward, and then you go. Yeah, Paris doesn't kind of have that same bit. But it's like,
you move back from the cold instead.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's snowing in here all of a sudden.
Doors open, and you just like, you've no idea what is going to happen next.
Amazing,
and
so good. I haven't managed to get any of my family on it yet.
It's a lot shorter than I thought it would be.
So Morgan, Dan, and Millie have agreed to ride it, and despite many times trying to persuade them, Morgan particularly, I think probably could, but he's just like, no, don't trust you. It's going to be awful. No. So.
Morgan, you've got to do it.
Yeah.
I think I might have to.
I regret waiting as long as we did to ride it.
I don't.
And the same goes for Rock and Roller Coaster as well. Yeah.
I'd not do it if I was given a choice, but
I think it's an incredible attraction. So
yeah. If anyone's missed the previous a podcast we did with Lou Mongello way back in the day.
That was so long ago. That's like 4 years ago.
2020.
I mentioned in that we had annual passes at the time, and so we had sort of a after hours bit during, I think it was at Summer Nightastic, which they did in August. I'm thinking August 2009. If
that sounds about right.
Just going off the top, but at that time, very few people were in the park, so we went to ride it, and we went first time. They made us watch the film. Second time, we watched the film. Third time, and we were just going round. At time, me and Josh, and Josh at the time was 6, 7, 8, yeah, social services careers. But it was, in fact, it wouldn't even be that. If it's 2009, yeah, okay, 6.
Yeah, maybe 6 or 7. Yeah,
5 or 6, I think he was. But he was tall enough to ride it anyway. But we kept going down. Eventually, they just decided, nah, let's just open the door there. Keep going round.
Oh,
and it was just, eventually, after 11 or 12 times of doing it, when you get that sort of theme, it's like roller coaster head, where your brain actually doesn't actually know if it actually belongs in your head or it's still and because Joe was such a young age, we just said, like, look, son, as much as I can do this all night, I don't think it's quite the thing to do.
Not a good idea.
No, and the picture I shared with everyone. Sorry, Claire, is that we actually got to ride Tower of Terror, the 4 of us, I think 2015 or something, on our own, because somebody in front of us in the previous line had been an absolute pain in the backside whilst they were swearing and doing all kinds of in the thing. And so cast members saw us, and as a ride, the cast members are the most brilliant people. They will make or break your experience of Tower of Terror.
Well, we're going to try and replicate an empty Tower of Terror, because at least I will, when we're going to we're doing the after hours event. So we're going to stay there right till the last, it's on our last night, so
that's cool.
I mean, I'd rather be at Rise of the Resistance that time than like going on that last, but
divide and conquer.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I just think it's such a unique attraction. And I think we've all got those rides that we like to go round and round and round. For us, for Morgan and me, it's always Buzz Lightyear. First thing in the morning. We can do, I think, in Disneyland Paris one day, we did Buzz Lightyear. I think we did something like 12 times in a row within the first hour and a half of the park opening, because we were there early and we just kept going round and round and round and round, and like literally just walk on each time. I just, there are those particular attractions that just you feel totally attract. You know, they're your happy place, and for you guys, weirdly, is Tower of Terror. I'm just saying that's slightly strange, John. For me, on Tower of Terror, that room with the video where the film plays on the little crackly TV, and the dark room with the stuff around the outside. That for me is the most terrifying moment of the whole thing. Where it's dark and the doors are shut, and there's a cast member stood behind me, and I have had them do things. They don't touch it, they do sort of like sweep past you, and I'm like completely terrified. Yeah, I'm totally terrified.
They used to be much worse at it.
Yeah, they did.
Probably the past 5 or 6 years, somebody probably sued them.
Yeah,
because there was a time where they would come up right to your shoulder.
Yeah, they'd be right in your ear, wouldn't they?
And you could actually, whoa.
Yeah, almost feel them breathing on your neck. Alien encounter stuff. But that room for me is the bit where I'm just like, okay, this is almost too much. I don't know I can do this. And then you get out into the boiler room, and it's okay.
I have to go, guys, because I've got to go and see my in-laws.
No problem.
See you later, Peter.
See you later. Have a good one.
See you later.
Bye.
If they can find the button, there we go.
That bit where you're almost relieved to go out into the boiler room, and then it starts building again. It's like, oh my goodness.
Against some music though as well, isn't it?
Yeah, and the audio and the Karen's just said the pre-show. This you may recognise as a maintenance service elevator. Yeah, I know, not one that we should be getting in. Is what's going through my head.
Well, I'm not maintenance, and I don't want to be going in this.
No,
I mean, I'm surprised you like it as much as you do. I'll be honest.
Oh, I do. The pictures say the opposite, but I actually enjoy it.
You don't like?
And do you
close spaces or
elevators?
It
doesn't feel very
when you get
close,
in lifts. When you get in lifts other places, do you all sit there and go, Tower of Terror?
Yes.
Because we do. We get like a lift in a hotel or something like Tower of Terror.
You know what? Especially when it's like, I don't know, premiering like at Gatwick has like 20 floors.
Always.
It's like,
it's like Tower of Terror. Always.
And especially when you're at the top floor and it's like, you get it's.
We do it. I'm sure other people do. If Anna was in chat, which she's not because I think she's packing her bags, she would be saying that.
I know. She must be so excited. I can't believe that she's going to be in Florida.
I'm getting daily updates on the case situation. Anyway, guys, it is 10. It's gone 10.
Yeah, oops.
We've gone super long. We've still got loads of friends with us, which is amazing. Thank you so much for hanging with us.
Thank you.
I think a little treat for everyone who has stayed this long, they get to see the video of what we've got coming up.
Hey.
I can't wait to the next few weeks. That's going to be really good.
Yeah, we've got other things coming up.
There's something else.
It's all kinds.
We will be sharing more. Tune in next week for next week's coming soon video.
Tease it a bit more.
Do you?
Can I?
Football is life.
Tease.
Football is life.
Football is life.
Yeah, but anyone's watching football hasn't been watching us because we've been watching the telly tonight.
No.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I watch.
John, you've got to believe.
Right. I have been believing. I've been on YouTube.
Not judgmental.
I've been on YouTube all night. I've missed one of the greatest games of the season.
And you never know, it might involve a trip to Amsterdam.
If anyone knows what we're talking about,
you pay him.
Yeah.
We might be wearing the mustachios may be coming out again, and we're not pretending to be Jason Knapp. This time.
Or Mario.
Or Mario.
I don't know because like Jason has to shave his tash off if he's not pretending to be Jason Knapp.
So just put in your diary Friday the 2nd of June at what time did we say we were going to do?
10:30
UK time. So that is 5:30 Eastern.
Yep.
Just saying. Just put it in your diary. If you happen to like a certain football show with Richmond AFC in it.
It's on Apple TV.
It's on Apple TV that finishes a couple of days. The end of the season is a couple of days before that. We're going to be doing a little bit of a late night at the Waffles Arms. So
I can't wait for that. And also, as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, we've got so much stuff coming up, including, don't forget, the podcast is out next Monday. And we'll be back next Wednesday for another show where we're going to be, well, is it May the 4th next Wednesday or is it May the 3rd?
It's May the 3rd next Wednesday.
May the 3rd, but we're going to...
It was the closest we could get.
Depends how long the show goes, it might be May the 4th. So,
May the 4th, yeah.
We'll be talking about all things Galaxy's Edge and Star Wars. And you can find all our previous shows right here on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. So don't forget, if you've missed the show, we do have it available as a podcast every Friday, which sounds weird. That's a Wednesday show that's out on a Friday. We'd love it if you'd be kind enough to share the show with your friends and family who enjoy talking about Disney as much as we do. Thank you again for joining us today. And I think there's just one thing left to say.
I was going to say, there's new people in the chat as well.
I just see that.
Is this always our way, isn't it?
Thank you, Samantha, for joining us. And Karen, I'm so glad we could help you through your marathon training. You know.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Oh wow. I'm touched about that. There you go.
And if us inspired,
and Jane Ben as well. Do you know something? Best way to finish is that you're about to enter another dimension, a dimension of sight and sound, but of mind.
They've been there for an hour and a half, John.
Next up.
Next stop, ride now.
It's the Twilight Zone.
Yeah, it has been, most definitely.
Until next week. Waffle on.
Waffle on.
Bye.